So good morning students. So let us start the session. In today class we are going to discuss about command line arguments. After that command line arguments we are going to discuss about one program. So up to now we discuss about only the concepts. Now in today class we are going to discuss about one small program, how you are going to convert. You are writing any online exam, they are giving the problem in terms of input and output. In today class we are going to see how we are going to write the programs based on the problem description. So after that we are going to discuss about the operators. In these operators we are going to discuss about arithmetic operators and comparison operators. Okay, so let us start the session. So last class we discussed about input and output statements in Python. So today onwards we are going to write the programs. Okay, so this is the today agenda. So command line arguments, one programming example and operators. Okay, so what is command line arguments in Python? What is command line arguments? I hope many students know the arguments here. Arguments. What is arguments means? For example, if you are going to find addition of two numbers. For example, I am taking two variables a and b. A and b. Just wait. Okay. So these are the two variables a, b. Here I am assigning a value to the a value to a 5 and a value to variable b. Now I assign these variables, I assign these values to variables directly. Directly I am assigning values to these variables. Okay, what is another way? You can read the values from the keyboard. You can read the values from the keyboard and assign the values to these variables a and b. Okay, and what is the problem here we are going to solve? We are going to solve that we are going to find addition of two numbers. That means sum of these two numbers. To find the sum, you're going to give the values directly is one thing. Another way is that you are going to give the values from the keyboard by using input function. By using input function. So last class we discussed about the input function. By using this input function also, you are going to give the values to these variables. Similarly, now you take these 5 and 10 is the arguments for these a and b values, a and b variables. So 5 and 10, these two are the arguments. So when we call these 5 and 10 as arguments means if you assign the values to these variables through functions, through functions. If I want to assign the values through functions, so these 5 and 10 we are called as a arguments. Let us assume so sum of there is a function sum. For this sum, I am going to pass these values 5 and 10. Now these 5 and 10 we are called as arguments. I hope you all are know this concept when you study C language. So these a and b values we are called as a arguments. Now, so what is command line arguments? what is command line arguments? So command line arguments is nothing but if you pass these values, if you pass these values at the time of execution, at the time of execution, so those arguments we are called as a command line arguments. So first for this, we know how to execute Python program. We can execute the Python program in two ways. One is by using IDLE. So one is by using IDLE, we execute the program. So open the IDLE and write the program. Then click the F5. So press the F5, or you can use the run menu. Okay. Another way is that you are going to execute the program by using CMD. So command prompt. Command prompt. Let us see one program. First, we are going to write the program. It's a new file. I save this file in E drive. In E drive, I am saving this sample. The file name is sample. Okay. In this, I am writing the program. A equals to int of input. So B equals to int of input. So print A plus B. That's it. Okay. We can execute. We execute this program in two ways. One is by using this IDLE. I execute this program here 10, 20, it displays 30. Okay, this is the one way to execute the program. So what is the another way? The another way is that you are going to use command prompt. You are going to use command prompt. So CMD, press CMD. So this is the command prompt where I save my program in E drive. So I move to E drive. So this is the E drive. If you observe that now the control goes to E drive, from C drive to E drive. Now how I can execute my program? Python. So this is the command I am going to give to execute a Python program in command line prompt. Python, what is the program name? Sample.py. Sample.py. If I press enter, now I give the 10, 20, it displays the 30 as answer. I hope it is visible to everyone. So 10, 20, 30. Okay. Now you all are understand that we execute the program in command prompt. Command prompt. Now you see. So what is the command line arguments? The arguments that are given after the name of the program in the command line shell of the operating system are known as command line arguments. What is the command line arguments? If you are going to give the arguments after the program name here, after the program name, so in this command prompt, this is the sample.py. If I give any arguments or any, maybe it may be numbers or strings, these arguments we are called as a command line argument. For example, here 10, 20. If I give like this, so Python sample.py is a program name and 10 comma 20 is the arguments now. Okay, these 10 and 20. So what we are giving the arguments? These 10 and 20. So these arguments we are called as a command line arguments. Command line arguments. Now, if I press enter, what happened? So Python sample.py dot 10 space 20. Now, if I press enter, so what happened? Nothing happened. So here we get the answer. But these 10 and 20 are stored in one array. That array name is argv. argv. Okay. So how we pass the arguments? We pass the arguments like this. So Python. After that, program name. After that, you are going to give some. For example, my program name is sample.py. Sample.py. Space, we give the arguments 10, 20. And I press enter here. I press enter. What happened? There is a array. This is the array. What is the array name? Here the array name is argv. argv. The array name is argv. Okay, so these are the argv of 0, argv of 1, argv of 2, and so on. Okay, here I give Python command. After that program name, the program name is saved in argv of 0, sample.py. Sample.py is stored in argv of 0. Next 10 is stored in argv of 1. 20 is stored in argv of 2. If I give, for example, here I give CRR 10, 20 CRR. Now the CRR stored in argv of 3. Okay, I hope you all are understand command line arguments in Python. The arguments that are given after the name of the program in the command line shell of the operating system are known as command line arguments. Okay, now so how we are going to use these arguments, command line arguments in our program means by importing a package, a module. The module name is SYS, system. Import system, import SYS module. This is the module. So this is the module. Okay, now the same program in sample.py. So these are the A and B. These are the A and B. Now I want to read the values from command line. Values from command line. For that, first what we are going to do? We are going to do import SYS module. SYS is a module, system module. So what is the value of A? A equals to SYS dot argv of 1, argv of 1, and okay, so argv of 1, that is in the form of string, but we convert into int. That's it. A equals to int of SYS dot argv of 1. Similarly, what is a B? What is a B? argv of 2. argv of 2. That's it. Now you save this program and execute in command mode. Execute in command mode. Python sample.py 1020. Sorry. Just wait. Yes. Here, forget to change B. Save and execute the program. Now it displays 30. Okay. Where we pass these arguments? Command line 10 and 20. So these arguments we are called as a command line arguments. I hope everyone understand command line arguments. Okay, we move to next concept. So this is the program. A2 Srinath, any doubt? Just wait. Srinath, unmute yourself. Are you have any doubt? Srinath, A2.
No, sir.
Why you raise hand?
By mistake.
Okay. Have any doubt? Place your doubt in the chat box.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So next one, here, when you try to solve the programs, they are asking the questions like this. They are giving some problem. Here the problem is, so write a program that asks the user for a weight in kilograms and converts it to pounds. Okay, this is the program. They are giving the hint also. 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. There are 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. That means 1 kg equals to 2.2 pounds. 2.2 pounds. Now, what is the program here? What is the problem here? Here the problem is that program that asks the user for a weight. This is the first one. Program that asks the user for weight. That means you are going to read the weight from keyboard in kilograms. Next step is convert it to pounds. So this is the second step. So convert it to pounds. And what is the third step? You are going to print the pounds. So print the weight in pounds. Okay. So what is the input here? If you give the input 26, if you give the input 26, we get the output 57.2. 57.2. Okay. So now when you read this in program problem, you can understand that you're going to write a program that asks the user from a for a weight in kilogram. Weight in kilogram. How many variables you are going to read? Only one variable. And after that you are going to convert it to pounds. So here we know the logic to convert a kilogram into pound. If you don't know this logic, you don't know this logic, you are not unable to write this program. So this is the logic here in this program. What is the logic? You are going to read the kilograms from the keyboard. After that you are going to convert that kilogram into pounds. So for that you know this formula. So pounds equals to 2.2 into kilograms. That is given here. That is given here. Now you are going to find the pounds. After finding that, so what is the output here? Weight in pounds. Weight in pounds. You all are remember that here the E is capital, W is capital, K is capital. In the same manner only you are going to write the program. If they are asking that, for example, if they are asking without any messages, so 26, 57.2. Same answer you are going to present. You write the program to generate the answer as like this only. Okay. If they are asking the weight in pounds, you observe this string and same string you can write in your program. Okay. So any program you follow these steps. So first you observe that what is the input you are going to read, and is there any message to display when you are reading the input, and what is the output format. You know all these things when you write the program. Okay. So now we write this program. Now, so what is the problem here? Here the problem is you are going to write a program that asks the user for weight in kilograms. So here we are going to read one variable. For example, I'm taking that as a k. So k equals to, here I'm taking the integer. Here in this they are giving that integer value. So I give int of input. Int of input. Okay. Then I convert the kilograms into pound. So I'm taking another variable p equals to 2.2 into kilograms. So k. Now I print the output p. That's it. Okay. So first I execute this program. Okay. So for 26, I'm giving the 26 as input. 26. So 57.2, we get the correct answer. 57.2. Now we are going to write the messages in this input and print statement. What is the message in this input? Enter weight in kilograms. Enter weight in kilograms. And in print, weight in pounds. Weight in pounds. comma. That's it. Now we execute this program. So enter weight in kilogram 26, weight in pounds 57.2. Okay. See, in this way you are going to solve the programs. Okay, so this is the simple program. So up to now we learn about variables, literals, and input statement and output statement. Okay, so here I am. Here this is the simple problem. So in future classes we are going to discuss more program that related to branching, lists, and strings. You are going to manipulate, and you are going to use many loops. Okay, this is the very simple program. So based here we write this program based on what we learn up to now. Up to now we learn only the basics. So if you are able to write this program, then it is enough. Now we discuss that operators in Python. Operators in Python. So what is the operator? What is the operator means? An operator is a symbol. An operator is a symbol that performs, sorry. An operator is a symbol that performs an operation. This is not an operation. So what it means? An operator is a symbol. So plus is a symbol. Now, so percentage is a symbol. Division is symbol. These are the shift operators. All these are the symbols. Okay, an operator is a symbol that performs an operation. Here, for example, we are taking that A plus B. A plus B. An operator acts on some variables. These are the two variables. Now, these two variables we are called as a operands. A comma B are the operands. Operands. Operands is nothing but variables. And the plus is the operator. Plus is the operator here. Okay. We have different types of operations. So different types of operations. For example, unary operations. Unary operations. What is a unary operation? Just wait. We have different types of operators. Unary operator, binary operator, ternary operator. Ternary operator. So what is unary operator? Unary operator is nothing but there is only one operand. There is only one operand. That means minus A. Minus A. How many operands here? Only one operator and one operand. If there is only one operand, then we call that as a unary operator. So binary means A plus B. A plus B. How many operands we have? Two operands. This we are called as a binary operator. Binary operator. If there is three variables, for example, in C there is a question mark colon. So this is the conditional operator. For this conditional operator, ternary operators. If in this there are three operands, for example, in C there is a ternary operator question mark colon. I hope you all are remember question mark colon. This we are called as a conditional operator. In this we need three operands. We need three operands. So these operator we are called as a ternary operator. Why? When we use this question mark colon operator, we need three operands. Okay. So these are the different types of operators: unary, binary, ternary. This is the introduction. Now we have different types of operators. Those are arithmetic operators, comparison operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators, identity operators, and membership operators. Okay, in today's class we are going to discuss about arithmetic operators and comparison operator in detail. In detail we are going to discuss. Okay, so what is arithmetic operators? I hope you all are know about arithmetic operators. We hear these arithmetic operators from our childhood. So what is the purpose of arithmetic operators? These arithmetic operators we are going to use to perform basic arithmetic operations. Basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, etc. Okay. In C also you all are learn all these operators. So we don't spend much time on these operators. Just we spend time on these two operators here. Okay. These two operators. What is this? It's a division operator. So let us take that a equals to 9, b equals to 2. A equals to 9, b equals to 2. Okay. I hope you all are know a plus b equals to 11. A minus b equals to 7. A into b asterisk. A into b means 18. Okay. What about 9 by 2? 9 by 2. In C it is 4. Okay. But in Python it is 4.5. It is 4.5. I want only the integer part of this. Integer part of this number. Then I am going to use floor division. 9 floor division 2. Okay. This is integer divide operator. We call this as a floor division. Floor division. That means the 4.5. What is the floor? 4. So it returns 4 as an answer. Okay. And in this arithmetic operators, this is the most important operator. Modulus operator. In many programs, we are using this modulus operator. Okay. So try to understand the difference between the floor division and percentage. That means the modulus operator. Okay. So for example, in this 9 by 2. So 9 floor division 2. What is the answer? It returns 4. It returns 4. 9 percentage 2. 9 modulus 2. So this percentage operator we are called as a modulus operator. Modulus operator. What is the expected output? 9 percentage 2 means it returns remainder. What is the remainder? When you divide 9 with 2, what is the remainder? The remainder is 1. The remainder is 1. So it returns 1 as an answer. 1 as an answer. Remember this remainder operator. It is very important when we are writing the programs. For example, so 153. 153. Find the digits of this number. Find the digits of this number. How we can find? So how we can find these digits of this number? By using this percentage only. So first we are going to multiply 153 by 10. Percentage 10. So what is the division? When we divide 153 with 10, what is the remainder? 3. Okay. Next we eliminate this 3. Next 15. 15 percentage 10. What is the remainder? 5. Next we will eliminate 5. 1 percentage 10. What is the remainder? 1. Okay. So many people are confusing with this percentage operator. So percentage returns remainder. So 153 percentage 10, it returns 3. 153 floor division 10, it returns 50. To execute, a equals to 9, b equals to 2. A plus b, a minus b, a into b, a by b, a floor division b, a percentage b. Okay, I hope you all are understand all the arithmetic operations. 9 plus 2 11, 9 minus 2 7, 9 into 2 18, 9 by 2. Here we got the floating value. A by b means it returns floating value. A floor by b means it returns integer value. A percentage b means it returns remainder. So 153 percentage 10, it returns 3. Next time 15 percentage 10, it returns 5. 1 percentage 10, it returns 1. So 1 percentage 10, 9 percentage 10, what is the answer? 9 percentage 10 means what it returns? Everyone please give the response in the chat box. 9 percentage 10 means what it returns? 9 percentage 10. Yes, somebody gives 1. 0.18. Ashrita. Many people send 1. I think error. So 9 is the correct answer. So 9 is the correct answer. 9 percentage 10. 9. Okay. Now you say answer 97%, 87 percentage 100. 87 percentage 100. What is the answer? 87 percentage 100. Yes. 87 is the correct answer. 87 is the correct answer. 87 percentage 100. If I press enter, it returns 87. Okay. Okay. I hope everyone understand arithmetic operators. In this, the important operator is percentage. In many programs, we are going to use this percentage operator. So percentage returns remainder. Okay. So next one, relational or comparison operator. So relational or comparison operators. So these operators are also very useful when we are writing the programs. So what is the purpose of these relational operators means? These relational operators are used to compare two quantities. Compare the quantities. For example, you are taking the variable A, B. A, B. A equals to 10, B equals to 20. Now, what is the relation between these two variables? Somebody says that A is small. A is small. Somebody says that B is big. B is big. Somebody says that both are not equal. Both are not equal. All these are correct. All these are correct. But here we are writing the programs with Python programming language. How we can determine, how we can interpret these answers means by using the operators. How we can say that A is small? If A less than B, then we say that A is small. How we say that B is big? If B greater than A, then we say that B is big. When we say these two are the not equal, if A not equals to B or B not equals to A, then we say that these two are the not equal. Okay, that means what is the purpose of relational or comparison operators? These comparison operators are used to compare the quantities of two variables. The relation operators are used to compare two quantities. Okay, now so these are the different operators we are going to use. So first one, greater than, less than, equals to, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to. Okay, so what is the purpose of the greater than? Here you are going to give two operands, A greater than B. Now A greater than B. Here you are comparing 10 greater than 20. What it returns? It returns and it says that 10 is small or B is big. No, it returns only two answers, either true or false. This is very important point regarding relational operators. Relational operators compare two numbers and they can return either true or false. They return either true or false. So based on that result, we are going to write the program. Okay, what is the purpose of the relation operators? The relation operators are used to compare two quantities and it returns either true or false. Either true or false. Let us discuss with the same example. 10 greater than 20. Here A greater than B. What it returns? It returns false. It returns false. A less than B. What it returns? It returns true. A equals to B. What it returns? It returns false. A less than or equals to B. Yes, it is less than. So it is true. A greater than or equals to B. It returns false. A not equals to B. A not equals to B. Yes, A not equals to B. So it returns true. Okay, so these relational comparison operators are more important. When you are writing the programs, you are going to write many expressions with these comparisons only, with these comparison operators. So it is better to understand in depth of these relational operators. The relational operators are used to compare the quantities of the variable, and it returns either true or false only. It returns either true or false only. Now we execute some programs. We are going to take a variable a equals to 10, b equals to 20. Now we are going to check a greater than b. A greater than b. What it returns? It returns false. A less than b. It returns true. A greater than or equals to b. It returns false. A less than or equals to b. It returns true. A equals to b. It returns false. A not equals to b. It returns true. Okay, all these are the relational operators. So greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, equals to, not equals to. That means, so based on these result, you are going to write the programs. So what we discuss after completion of branching about these statements. Here we learn about that if it returns, this expression returns either true or false. So based on the, here we are comparing the quantities of two variables. If these condition is true, then it returns true, otherwise false. Okay, so this is about conditional operators or relational operators. So this is about comparison operators. Okay, so this is about today class. In tomorrow class we are going to discuss about the remaining operators: bitwise, assignment operators, identity operators, and membership operators. Okay, so this is about today class. We meet in tomorrow class. So thank you all.